Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. I am your host, The Radio CD, and I am super excited to start building. Again, we are building the entryway and the dining room for our lovely winter craftsman home that so far we're pushing it to finish it on time for Christmas, but we're gonna try. We are going to attempt. So I hope all of you are having a lovely winter break. If you haven't started winter break, then my sincerest apologies. A lot of people are starting this week. And let's go ahead and jump into building because we have a lot of work to do. A lot. I truly don't know what I'm gonna try to do in this house. So I really just want you to bear with me as I try to figure out what I'm doing. So I'm thinking at the entryway, I want a bench here, but with like a wall in the back. And that can be like a place where you like take off your shoes and such. And then I'm thinking here, given that this is a craftsman house, I wasn't sure if I was gonna go for a more revitalized or like a traditional craftsman sort of look. And currently I still don't know what I'm going for. So I think we're just gonna kind of ride the edge until I really pick what I'm gonna do. I usually do a more updated style or present day style of whatever house I'm doing. I don't think this, honestly, I just don't think this house is big enough to warrant having, I mean, not that craftsman homes are typically very large anyways. And then we'll do another doorway. It's gonna be smaller. And honestly, I don't think that's small enough. We're gonna do another doorway into the kitchen. So we're gonna have this doorway here, and then we're gonna have the kitchen along this back wall. And the floor plan has an island here, and I'm pretty sure it has an entrance to the backyard here. And we're gonna see if we're gonna keep with that idea or not. But I honestly think that's a discussion for another time. For now, I'm gonna adjust this doorway because I feel like it's too tall. And I'm gonna quickly throw in some custom flooring and wall trim, and then I'll be back. And I suppose I will explain how to do a custom floor since I am currently struggling to do this myself. So I just put a block here, and then I place another block on top of it, and I put a painting on top, and I make it as short as possible because this makes sure that it's a 2x2. It just makes it easier to layer it so it's not clipping with the other paintings. And then I rotate this one to be vertical, and then I adjust the bottom to make sure that is lined up with an actual floor, just about there. And then I place carpets all the way around where I want to have the floors, and then I can go back in and delete these later because they're not necessary. So then when I rotate this, it should be at the right height, so I can just place them anywhere I need to, which is what I'm gonna do now. And then we're actually going to return. So we have our trim, and I think I finally figured out what I want the color scheme to be, which is good. Not that I'm gonna apply any colors yet, but at least I'll know for when the time comes. Now right here, I want to add an archway, which may seem odd, but hear me out. So this is where our bench is going to go. And I'm just gonna quickly add a little pillar. And I like to color this bright red so I remember. So this is the height of a person. And then I am gonna move this into the house just to make sure that this is the right height. We want this to be about the height of a chair. So I just need to make this a little bit shorter. So we'll put it about there. And I'll move this down so that we can have our molding over the top of it. Does it completely make sense in the architectural context of this house? Not at all. Craftsmen aren't really known for having arches, but I want an arch. So we're gonna have an arch. So I'm gonna worry about that later. I do have to fill in the area above here. I think the way I'm gonna do that is by turning one of these concaves this way. And it honestly doesn't even have to be perfectly aligned. And I say that now, I may go back and align it the correct way, but I think that looks just fine as it is. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna make a board and batten chair rail to go around the dining room and the entryway. I'm gonna do this in a way that I haven't before. So let's hope I know what I'm doing. And this part I will keep in the video because you may not know how to do this either. So we're gonna use, honestly, I'll probably add this trim after. We're gonna use these structurals to add lines pretty much across this whole section here. I also need to trim out the doorway we have here, but we can worry about that later. And then we're gonna add a trim all the way around, and then we're pretty much just going to copy this across the entirety of the dining room. And I'm gonna wait to do this wall because I think I'm gonna add some windows. And in fact, I am going to add some windows. I think I'm gonna do a set of 3 across here. And that just adds so much more natural light into this otherwise relatively dark space. I was thinking about built-ins, but maybe we'll do a side board here instead, which I think will suffice. All I have to do now is adding our muntins into the window. I've been calling them lights. That's partially correct. Well, somewhat. Not exactly. Same thing, to be honest. I don't like muntins is a weird word. Not gonna lie to you. All right, we're gonna slide these back, and then that is going to be our window. And then we'll do 3 of those. And I made them slightly smaller off camera because I was like, okay, these are a bit too big. I think these fit the house a little bit more. And then I'm gonna go ahead and add our trim here. I just wanted to make sure that that wouldn't affect us placing windows up here. I don't think it would have, but now we have all of our trim, at least that trim, and I'm gonna go ahead and add these all the way around the dining room and the entryway, and I'll be back. So I went ahead and finished all of our trim. That took me a while. Actually, it didn't take me that long. I'm just kind of lazy today. And I forgot to add the actual chair rail, or I suppose the rail of the chair, around the entryway here. And I think I'm going to like double layer this up just to give it a bit more depth. So now that that trim work is done, I'm going to trim out our windows as well, which I debated doing off camera. Well, I am going to do this off camera because this is just going to take so long. But I was going to do this while I was making the windows in the first place, so I wouldn't have to do this for every window in the house. But it looks like we're just going to do this for every window in the house. So there's that. And for this window, we're gonna do a thicker trim around so that it can connect with the trim we have down here. And then I'm gonna do the same with all of our doorways, and I will return. So now all of our trim is in. Yes, everything does have to be recolored. I went ahead and trimmed out our archway that we have over here as well. So now we just have to recolor everything, which I suppose I will do now. So now we recolored the dining room. I'm having second thoughts about the gray trim, and it's not the gray trim's fault. I think I actually do like the gray trim. I'm just wondering if I should do something more exciting in here than just this, and then leave the gray trim for the rest of the house. And you may hate me for saying this, but I'm thinking I want to color wrap the room again. I say again, I do this in a lot of rooms recently. Not that I've built much recently, to be honest, but I would say in the past year, I've done a lot of color wrapping, and I'm thinking I want to do it again. Now, one thing that I can be sure that I want to do is a gray ceiling in here. And then maybe we can do something more interesting on the ceiling, like a wallpaper or something. And we did happen to get that Victorian pattern wallpaper, which, if I must say, is probably one of the best additions that they've added to the materials section in a very long time. Now, I can be sure that I don't want to do it on the walls.
2,000 years later.
So I was going to cycle through a bunch of colors and then put it in a montage, but I think this is actually the color. I didn't want to color wrap the room in a dark color. I didn't. But what can I say? Now the real question is, do we paint the trim in the same color or not? And I'm thinking, so the main thing for us to do now is actually add decorations and furniture. And I really want to get a chandelier in here, but I'm gonna wait. So I may also want one in here. Actually, I think I'll bring one of these flush mount or semi flush mounts into the entryway. And then I just need to figure out what to do with the lighting and such for our secondary sources to make it not so dark in here. something I know I do want to add is some cushions inside of this niche that we have. This is going to be sort of like a mudroom style piece where it's a place you can just walk in and put all your stuff down. Well, I guess take off your shoes. This isn't really like a table, which I think honestly may be a good addition to add right here. So we can have a table with maybe a painting or a mirror above it with some sconces. And then on the inside, we're just gonna add some bigger throw pillows, probably too big. And honestly, now that I've done it like that, maybe we do this like a sort of sofa almost. And as much as I like the pop of color that we have in here, I want to give it a bit of texture if possible. So I'm gonna attempt to do so. So maybe we just give it a bit of texture and instead of thinking about that sconce right now, because I truly cannot think of what to put in there. Let's go ahead and get a console table, probably about right here. And then I'm gonna quickly make a sconce out of this little landscaping orb that we have. I don't know who actually uses that as a landscape lighting. Maybe in a modern house that could work, but I don't know why you would choose this over some of the other options that we do have. So I think these sconces are a bit big, but I can deal with that, to be honest. And I kind of want to do something special or just add a little bit of something to the ceiling in here as well. But I'm also tempted to just leave it empty because that's something that I've come to notice over the past few builds, that I cannot leave the ceiling untouched for some reason. So we're just going to leave it blank, at least in the entryway. The next thing I want to add is I was going to do a mat, but actually I think I'm just going to do a runner. And this is going to have to be adjusted when I remove this carpet, but, oh, and that's not going to be long enough. I'm going to make a runner for the entryway. And then this is pretty much all of the big ticket furniture pieces that we're gonna have in here. I'm thinking a plant in this corner and maybe a place to like hang up your keys or something on one of these walls, but that's like minor stuff. I want to get the dining room started. So I was looking through some of our options for tables, and I'm thinking I want to do the postmodern dining table, and we can do it in a wood color. And in fact, I think we're just going to use the contemporary dining chair. This pretty much does everything that I need it to do. And it's a lower profile chair, which I do like. And maybe we just use these on the ends just to add a bit of variation. Or maybe not. I don't think I like that chair. Let's just do these on the ends. Yeah, I think that's fine. Well, you win some, you lose some. I'm just gonna stick that outside just in case I may want to use it again somewhere else. Now, the last thing that I want to add is like a sideboard. Oh my goodness. I haven't looked at all the new furniture stuff yet. That's why I'm kind of like looking through some of the new stuff that we've gotten. That is really nifty. In fact, what we're gonna do, I'm gonna make my own and base it off of the size of this one. Actually, I do think it needs to be a little bit longer. And I want to make something a bit more traditional to go along with the style of the house. And I want to make sure that this one can fit bowls and plates and such. Just making some quick doors. I'm gonna slide these into place. So I'm thinking something like that. And then in this corner, we can do a floor lamp. And then in this corner, we'll do a plant. And then we'll do curtains on this window. And honestly, I kind of forgot that this is supposed to be a holiday house. So maybe instead of just our regular plants in this corner, whoa, we do a Christmas tree. So as far as furniture goes, this is pretty much all we're going to do. And I did have a tree in this corner, but I'm gonna make my own tree. So let's go ahead and start on that. So I actually just went back and remade the tree using just one bush for each time I went down, and it looks great. I very much did not need to use multiple bushes. I don't know what I was thinking there, but I think you're only supposed to do that when you have a larger tree. This isn't a huge tree, so all the footage of me doing the Christmas tree is like corrupted. So yeah, I added some decorations and some lights. I'll just put a picture here. We also did some decorations around the dining room. Not my best work, but yeah, I might just do a Christmas tree tutorial after this in like a short or something in case you're trying to follow this or whatever. But yeah, let's move on. So I did a few things on and off camera to kind of pull the rest of the space together. And this is what we have. Minus this painting. I'm going to change that. I like it. I feel like something is missing, but I can't put my finger on it. So I'm not going to worry about it for the time being. Like the more I look at this, I'm just like, something is not quite right. I do think this needs a tabletop instead of just being a rectangle on top. This wasn't the issue, but I thought, since we're here contemplating our life choices, I might as well go ahead and change it. Yeah, that wasn't the problem. It's okay. We're just gonna turn around and focus on this room, which honestly may even have more issues than I had originally accounted for, but it's okay. It's not bad. I just need to get over myself and be okay with having plain walls. For some reason, it's a very significant problem for me. So I want a place where you can drop off your keys. So it can be like a little plate on the corner there. And honestly, probably a similar thing where we have a plant in the middle. That could be a Christmas tree because we do have tabletop Christmas trees and I have yet to use one, but I think I will wait because I'd rather have the plant in here. I wonder, can I scale these? No. Okay. So forget what I said about those books. Thought you could scale them and you clearly cannot, which is odd because I feel like those you should be able to scale pretty easily because it's pretty much a big block. I digress, what do I know? I think what I'll do is add a shelf to the bottom of this console table. I'm going to take some of these wicker baskets that we had outside and put them under here. And maybe we'll just do 3 of them. Or maybe we'll do 4 of them because 3 was kind of ugly and they'll be slightly off-centered. That's okay. I'm thinking in this corner, I'm gonna get a vase. I'm gonna do something I haven't done in a long time. I'm gonna do one of those reed plants in this corner using structurals. I haven't done this since we've gotten decals, so quite a considerably long time. And the only reason I'm doing it here is because I think having the 3D element instead of it being completely flat may be better, but I could be very wrong about that. So this is up for debate. And I like the idea of hanging up a coat by the front door. So as far as furniture pieces, I think this is everything that I want to have in here. I'm debating on whether I should switch out our coat rack for something a bit more space efficient, because I feel like I'm just using that one to use it because it's new, and I may just do that because I feel like I use the same coat rack in like every build. So we can at least attempt to go for something a little different this time. And again, I feel like the ceiling is empty. I could add a beadboard to the ceiling, but I'm gonna leave it alone. I am going to leave it alone. The only thing that I'm going to do now, I think I want to change the color of this light. We may need to add some additional light sources in here as well, especially at nighttime. This may be, oh, it's not dark, but we have a very odd white light coming from somewhere that I'm not a fan of. But that's okay. I'm gonna go recolor everything and then I'll be back after I do so. So I just realized that I was muted, but I am back. we have recolored, and the only thing that I want to do is add some beadboard to the ceiling, which we have now officially done. And I also went ahead and changed the floors to something I feel adds a bit more character and personality to the house, so that it kind of distracts from the fact that the walls are boring. They're not boring. I chose a very tailored color palette, and it's not the colors that I am not happy with. It is the fact that the walls are just plain. So yeah, I'm gonna survive. I'm gonna live with it. We're gonna be fine. The last thing I'm gonna do is run in and change these last few decals because I forgot yet again to do that. And then we can move on to the main living area. So I just changed those decals, and then the last thing I wanted to do, I'm just not satisfied. And who knows if I ever will be satisfied with the ceiling in this room. But what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna outline the room with these structurals, and then I'm gonna adjust them so that they line up with the edge of the wall. So now this is gonna be like a legitimately trade or coffered ceiling, which I'm hoping this makes me feel better. And if it doesn't, well, then we might just leave it because it's already done. And maybe if we do this paired with the trim, oh, that completely covers it up. Nice. What I'll do instead, I'll just add another structural underneath and then transform it to add a slight bit more detail to the roof or the ceiling here. So here we are in the finished, well, I'll say partially finished house, fully finished entry and dining room. So as we walk in, I ended up changing the floor decal to something else. I will put that in the description if I remember. I should. So on the right here, we have our archway where we have a place where you can sit down. Honestly, it could be a good idea to add some ottomans in here if you are trying to build this so that it's actually functional. And here we have a table that is missing the, please hold. I don't know why that light was missing, but we have to get rid of this whole thing anyways. I completely blocked the entryway to the stairs because I didn't put a doorway here in the first place. My bad. I still haven't decided if I'm just gonna put the doorway here or if we're just gonna scratch this idea, but yeah, it looks nice for now. So we're just gonna do like everything else and then figure out what we're gonna do here. So embarrassing. Anywho, this is our lovely dining room, which I made the color slightly darker in here. And I changed the texture to snow. I'm not sure if I kept that on camera or not. And I also changed out the rug for one that is in my inventory. So I will put as many of the decals as I remember in the description. And then over here is our sideboard, which I clearly need to recolor the back legs because I did not, well, just that one apparently. And our lovely Christmas tree, which I think is adorable. And I think this is honestly a pretty good start for what the rest of this house is going to look like. It's not your traditional red and green, you know, Christmas house. So I'm not sure how this video is even going to perform because it's not that, but I'm definitely more of a classy Christmas person. And I think this house so far is giving classy Christmas. And I won't show you the kitchen yet because it is done, but I'm going to split this up into two parts. So we'll do these two rooms first and we'll do the kitchen next, which will be coming out like literally a few days after this video. So I won't keep you waiting for too long. And that is going to conclude today's video. So I hope you all enjoyed this as much as I did. If you're building along and you have questions, ask. I'm going to try to answer as many of them as I can. And I hope you all are having an amazing holiday season. And I'm going to go edit the next part of this video so that it will actually be out on time. So I will see you all in like a few days.